What I'd like to do is just tell you about a very simple technique called a program. And the idea of this is to help a young person and the AMBIT worker to just get a bit of a shared idea about all the people that are involved in the young person's life, or the people who may have a kind of particular role of trying to be helpful to them. And what we know from AMBIT is that often there are a surprising number of these people. So the idea is you're in a conversation with a young person, you just try and draw it out like a map so they can sort of see all the people involved. And it's not long conversation, you're just trying to quickly sketch this out. So you start with just drawing, put Joe in the middle. This is about Joe's story and about just trying to get an idea. And you're asking Joe, who else is kind of involved in trying to be helpful to you? And he tells you about the social worker. And you just have a bit of a conversation as to, is the social worker somebody you get on well with, you feel close to, that you trust or not? In this particular case, Joe's a bit suspicious of the social worker, doesn't know him very well. So we put him near the edge of the page. And we just then, okay, so who else is involved? Who else do you kind of feel can be helpful to you sometimes? Okay, head of year, he actually highlights the head of year as somebody who actually feels a little bit kind of helpful, has been helpful in the past. So put him a bit closer to Joe, but the question here is, does the head of year know the social worker? Do they talk to each other? No, never. As far as Joe knows, they've never met each other. Will be a very kind of common occurrence. So then we think also about, we keep moving along. You're trying to work out not only who does Joe know, but in this network, who in this network of people talks to each other. So when we come to the YOS worker, as far as Joe can tell, the YOS worker, not somebody who he feels knows particularly well, certainly not as well as the head of year, but as far as he knows, the social worker and the YOS worker has never talked to each other, he's got no sense that they know each other at all. Then also there might be an EWO. The EWO is somebody who's particularly concerned about his school attendance, and actually the EWO's made quite a good relationship with Joe's mum, and Joe feels a certain sort of loyalty towards the EWO. Doesn't know the EWO that well either, but there's a kind of sense that the EWO is a person who he kind of feels is kind of warm and kind and sort of trying to be helpful in some kind of way. You're just mapping these things out. And I suppose partly now what you're trying to do is, okay, where am I in this map? So you say, okay, so Joe, if I was thinking about where I fit in, I suppose I know the social worker a little bit, and I'm getting to know you, and so where would you put me? And you can have a bit of a discussion, and this one we've just put somewhere between the social worker and the young person. The point here is that's fine, gets us started, but the intention of this process is then for the AMBIT worker to think, who needs to talk to who? And what does Joe think about who needs to talk to who? And you just start a conversation, if we're going to work together, who needs to have had a conversation with who? And would it be any good, would it be okay if I talk, for example, in this particular example, if I talk to the head of year, and what would it be like if the head of the year and the EWO got together and shared their ideas about what would be helpful for Joe, and Joe, would you like to meet with them if such a thing was arranged? You're trying to get some thinking going as to who's in the kind of team that is trying to be helpful to Joe, and what can we do to facilitate that, to make that work better.